I used to think that cardio was the only way to lose weight. So I would run, I would restrict my calories, I would sweat to death, and that scale would not move. Would not move. The truth is, I didn't start seeing real fat loss in my body until I started strength training. So if you're wondering how in the heck do I get started strength training as a beginner, this video is for you. Let's be very clear. Strength training does not burn a lot of calories during the workout, but that is not at all the point of what we're talking about. What it does after the workout builds muscle. And muscle is more metabolically active than fat, which means you burn more calories, leaner as you lose the weight. Protect your body and your hormones. Think strong, toned, defined, not just skinny and exhausted. So how do you actually start strength training? I know that is the question. Really going to keep it, honestly, stupid simple, because it really should be simple on how you start strength training. You need three things to start strength training if you're a brand new beginner. Number one, you need a schedule. Commit to 3 to 5 days starting out. That's it. You don't need 6 days a week. You don't need 7 days a week. You don't need an hour a day. Try 3 to 5 days, somewhere in that range, 30 to 45 minutes. There's your schedule. That's what you need to do. Number two, you need to understand the basic movement patterns for strength training or starting a strength training workout. Your program really should focus on push, pull, legs. Push is chest, triceps, shoulders. Pull, a pull day, is back and biceps, typically, and legs. Legs you can break into 2 different work days if you want to, and I'll show you my program here in a little while that I did. But 2 days or 1 full leg day if you really want to go all in on a leg day. It's totally up to you. But legs comprise of glutes, hamstrings, quads, calves. So there's a lot with the legs. Typically why I think some people break it into 2 days, but you can definitely do a full leg day all in 1 day if you want to. These are the foundational movements of a strength training program that will build muscle, hit your entire body, hit everything you need in 3 to 5 days a week. Number 3, you need progressive overload. Progressive overload, I know, is probably a buzzword. You've heard it a million times. You maybe have no idea what it even means. I'm going to tell you what it means. Progressive overload is a fancy term for saying that your body adapts to the weight. And so over time, you need to increase the weight that you're lifting. You need to increase the weight over time. That is how you get stronger. That is how you get leaner. So how are we going to do all this? You may not like my answer, but my answer is what it is. And it is go to the gym. I am not a massive fan of at-home workouts. I have done them myself. They were not sustainable for me. I was not consistent with them. Whereas once I got into the routine of waking up every day, taking my pre-workout snack, going to the gym, I was consistent. I saw results. And so I am a massive proponent of going to the gym. This is not going to be a channel. You can go ahead and right now if you want at-home workouts, because this is just, I am not a proponent of it because it has not worked for me specifically, and I have seen it not work for others as well. It just is hard to do everything you need to do and be overly consistent and build a very good routine at home, in my opinion, unless you have one of those fancy schmancy home gyms. I don't have that yet. Maybe one day. I don't have that right now. So I get up and I go to the gym. And there are gyms that you can afford. Planet Fitness, for example. How much are they a month? You know what I'm saying? Like, go to the gym. Find a buddy or something and, I don't know, be their guest or something like that. Whatever it is, you need to go to the gym. You really do. That is my opinion. Take it or leave it. I know some people will talk about home workouts. I am just a massive proponent of going to the gym. I really am. So, not to beat a dead horse, but if you're a beginner, get over the fear of going to the gym and looking like a beginner. You got to start somewhere, and people are there to train themselves. People are there to work on themselves. And so that is what you need to do. You need to just go, you need to rip the Band-Aid off, and you need to go to the gym. You don't, in my opinion, need a lot of fancy gear to go to the gym. You need a well-stocked gym though. And I'm going to tell you what needs to be in the gym. When you're evaluating whether or not a gym is a good fit for the program that you're wanting to do or just you in general, here's what I would look at. When you walk into the gym, is there cable machines and is there plenty of them? So that if you go during a busy time of day, there is plenty of cable machines that you could work out at. Are there squat racks or Smith machines? I would prefer a gym that has both personally. A Smith machine, I'll add a picture here so you know what I'm talking about if you've never seen one. A Smith machine is sort of an alternative, in my opinion, to a barbell, like squat rack or a squat rack. You can, one of the things that I do with the Smith machine sometimes, if it's in my program, is I will do step-ups. Like I'll have a box and I'll do like step-ups, which works like your glutes, or it can work your quads depending on how you're doing the workout. But I don't use Smith machines in replacement for like my squats, like my back squats or my front squats or anything like that. I also don't use it for deadlifts. I don't use it for RDLs, but I have seen people who do. And I know that Planet Fitness, as an example, does not have barbell squat racks. They have Smith machines. And so my mom and sister actually have a membership at Planet Fitness, and I have gone with them to Planet Fitness, and I've had to adjust my workout a little bit and use the Smith machine for certain things. So totally doable. If you walk into a gym and it is what you can afford and all they have is a Smith machine, then you know what? We're working with the Smith machine. You can do the squats, you can do the deadlifts, you can do all of that with a Smith machine. So don't stress too much about it. I am just saying, in my opinion, if a gym has both the Smith machine and a squat rack, which this is what the squat rack looks like for those who don't know, then great. But if all you can afford is one of the gyms that has the cable machines, the cardio machines, and all they have is a Smith machine, like Planet Fitness, for example, then do that. Do that. I just want you in the gym, and we will work with whatever equipment we've got going. So do that. But I would look for that. I would look for benches. So benches, you'll also see just like standalone benches over there where like all the dumbbells are and stuff like that. You're going to need it for things like a shoulder press. You're going to need it for dumbbell chest presses. A variety of things people use the benches for. So definitely look for a gym that has plenty of benches. Mine actually right now, because it's a smaller gym, only has 5 or 6 benches, and it is sometimes a battle to get over there and get a bench. So if your gym has plenty of benches, then that's chef's kiss in my opinion. But if they have a few, then, work with what you got. It's going to be fine. And then obviously cardio machines. So they are what they are. So I do incline treadmill walking after my workouts, and that's the only time I go into the cardio room. So I don't spend a lot of time in the cardio room. I think you don't need an astronomical amount. I would say if you're looking for a gym, find a gym that has a healthy amount of cardio machines, just in case once you're done with your workout, you do have an opening on one. So cardio machines. But in my opinion, go to the gym. Rip the Band-Aid off, find a gym that works for you, find a gym that works for you financially, find a gym that works with all of these things that I've listed. They have all of those things because you're going to need them for a strength training program or exercise. And walk in with a plan, walk in with a program. Don't panic. It is fine to be a beginner. It is fine to just be starting out. No one cares. No one cares. You're there to train you You focus and put tunnel vision and work on you, and you're gonna be fine. You belong there just as much as the person who has been working out for 20 years. You belong there just as much as them. No one is perfect. No one is expecting perfection. Just go, do you, focus on you, train hard, and be consistent. Be consistent with it. Okay, so now I want to transition a little bit and talk about how to structure your first workout. So I actually have used apps. I talked about this in another video. I don't use TikTok videos. I don't even use YouTube workout videos unless sometimes I'm looking up something particular about what does the form look like on this particular exercise if I don't know or if it's not in my program and I'm curious. But I stick to my apps. I stick to my program that I use, and I have used 2 apps in the past 2 years. The first app that I used when I first was getting started is the Gym Stepani app. I will link it down below if you're interested in it. It is like, I think $30 a month, but something like that. But I saw the most growth with that particular app. I did several different programs. The very first program that I did was like a 12-week long program. It's a great app. It's great. It'll show you, it has like video instruction on how to do the form. It has images, it has descriptions, it has every type of program you can think of. But you know, I loved it. So you could look at that app if you want to. The app that I'm currently using is Alive by Whitney Simmons. I love it so much. I have used it for the last almost year. And again, saw massive growth as well with some of her programs that are on there. And so that's what I'm going to show you. I recommend either one, and I recommend sticking to a program for as long as you can. So the thing that I think trips people up sometimes is they will do a program and they will only do it for like a couple weeks or a month or 2, and then they'll move on to another program. I think you should do programs. Like if you like a program, I've done one of Whitney Simmons, one of the Alive app programs like 3 times. Gym Stepani, I did one of those programs like 3 times in a row. And I just feel like that is where, you, in my opinion, take it or leave it, that is where you're going to see the most growth, is when you're consistently day in and day out doing the same thing, but with progressive overload. And so you're getting stronger as you go, and you're really starting to nail those movements. And then I think you can switch it up if you want to. Keep some of the staple movements in there, but switch it up if you want after 4 months, whatever. I don't know. I'm just throwing out a number. Don't stick to that. But I would recommend sticking with a program as long as you can. And if you finish the program in the time that is allotted on the app, just restart it. And if you started as a beginner, and I'll show you this in the app here in a second, if you started as a beginner, you can always start a program as a intermediate or an advanced. So you can always move your way up as you go. So let me show you what this app looks like though, because I love it so much. So here is what the Alive app looks like. There's different programs that you can do with it, different trainers. They also recently just added a mat Pilates one, which is fairly new. I have done quite a few of these, and I have had great results with it, like I said just a minute ago. But just to give you an example, I recently did the Lift Phase 2. It was an advanced program. It was 5 days a week. You can see kind of what that schedule looks like here. So I had 2 split days for legs to focus on the different muscle groups within the legs, and then a full body one at the end of the day. And after each session, I did my 20 to 25 minutes on cardio on the treadmill at an incline. So something to note here also, in my opinion, start with stretching and end with cardio. So if you do cardio in the beginning, you're sort of maxing out your energy reserves, in my opinion. Listen, I've seen people do it where they do cardio before the strength training and then they'll go do strength training, and I'm just like, how? I've tried it both ways. Again, I experiment all the time. I've tried it both ways. Does not work well for me because I am very tired after the cardio, and so I'm not able to push as hard as I would be without doing the cardio in the beginning in my strength training workout. And so I am a big proponent of do your cardio after your strength training so that you are able to push as hard as you can during your strength training, leave it all on the table, and then go do your cardio at the end if you are doing cardio at the end. It's not required at all, but if you want to do cardio as part of your strength training workout, then my personal recommendation would be to do it at the end. So take it or leave it. Try it, see what works for you, but I have just found that my energy reserves are tapped out if I did cardio in the beginning. So back to the app. So you can include like warm-up exercises, cool down if you would like. I normally do my own, but the app has some great ones to guide you through it if you're new. And then I also love for the beginners is they show you how to do it. So they show you the video, they show you like the guide. So you don't have to feel dumb or weird at the gym because you don't know what you're doing. They show you how to do it. And so you really need to nail the form first and foremost. So watch how they do it. And then you can also track the weight and that progressive overload of each exercise that you do. So if you click that little button at the top of the workout, you can track it there and you can see the history of it as well. All in all though, I would recommend this app to anyone, whether you're beginner, intermediate, advanced. Like, I think it's about $14 a month. I forget what it is. I'll have to look, but it's worth every penny in my opinion. This is not at all sponsored, by the way. Like, I'm not sponsored by the Alive app to be talking about this. I genuinely downloaded it and have used it for the last almost year, and I love it so much, and I've had so much progress from when I downloaded it to now. Actually, I'll just show you. So this is when I was not using it. I had just started using it, and then this is now. So using the app alone, I have gained so much progress. I just genuinely love it. I have found success with it. I have shared it with other people who are beginners and they have used it and they also love it. They find it very user-friendly, very informative, again, with the form and things like that. And so totally recommend it. However, I will say you do not have to do these apps. These are just the two apps that I personally have tried and I have loved and I have found success with them. There are other apps out there that I know people are using. If you know of any that you use, that you love, drop them down below so people can see. What I'm trying to get at is you need a program. You need a strategy for when you're going into the gym, because you cannot just go into the gym and willy-nilly every single workout and think that that's going to drive results with strength training. You have to have a strategy, you have to have a program, you have to have a plan. And I think it helps immensely to just have a program, and I think it helps immensely to go to the gym. So again, my recommendation, go to the gym, start with a program. Don't worry about looking weird. Don't worry about looking like a beginner. You're there to train you. You're there to get better at you, for you. So just go to the gym and then build consistency and then repeat, you know, find a program, go to the gym, build consistency, repeat continuously forever. So before I end this video, I actually want to dispel just a few myths real quick about strength training, particularly maybe for women before we close. Number one, strength training is not going to make you look bulky. I don't know why that is sort of the notion. And to be honest, before I started strength training, I also had that thought, like, ooh, I am not doing what those guys over there are doing, because I'm gonna end up looking big, whatever. And it's so far from the truth. Like, once you learn how it actually all works, you're just like, wow, that's okay. 'Cause bulking, do you know what it takes to bulk? Do you know how much you have to eat to bulk up? Like, you're not gonna bulk up, I promise you. what you're going to get is the results that you're wanting. You're going to get toned, you're going to get defined, you're going to get the body that you're wanting with strength training. You are not going to bulk up. You're not going to be looking like The Rock. Okay? I promise. It will not make you bulky, especially if you're pairing it with a calorie deficit. I can tell you right now, actually I'm going to show you. This is what I looked like on a calorie deficit while I was strength training. That's not bulk. That's not bulky. And I was doing like 130 squat, like pounds on the squat. And I was doing like 270 on the hip thrust. Like that's some weight. And listen, I want to get heavier, but that's some weight. And I was not getting bulky. So, okay, that's myth number 1. Myth number 2, you do not need to be in serious shape to get started. You just don't. You just get started. You know what I'm saying? You just go in there and you get started. Because when I first went to the gym, listen, you know, you think that you're in shape and then you're like, oof, I'm not. I got a long way to go. And you don't need to be in tip-top shape to go to the gym. Everyone is welcome. Everyone's on a particular journey. Everyone's journey is different. Everyone's goals are different. Everyone's weight loss looks different. Like everyone's plan and strategy and this, that, and everything else is different. It's like, look, you do you. You don't need to be tip-top perfect shape before you get started with a strength training program. The third one kind of is, yes, your body is going to change significantly when you start strength training. And I would argue for the better. You're not going to be shrinking yourself. You're going to be getting strong, toned, defined, everything that all women are obsessed with, getting toned. Well, you have to build muscle in order to do that. You have to lean out in order to do that. And strength training is your best friend if that's what you're wanting to do. Trust. That is what you need to be doing. So listen, I always say this, cardio has helped me lose some of the weight, right? But strength training has actually built me the body that I love, that I want, and that I actually respect and want to live in. So the two together, great. If I had to pick one for the rest of my life, it would be strength training. It hands down, strength training. So if you are just starting out on your strength training journey, welcome. I hope you get equally as obsessed with it as I think a lot of people have in the past or are still doing today. And I am so in love with it. I literally have seen such significant change in my body from doing strength training that I cannot help but recommend it to anyone and everyone. And so I talk about it, and I am going to talk about it a lot on this channel. I have quite a few videos in the link in the description below that are different topics about how I lost weight sustainably, macros versus calories, all of these different things. I have a whole fitness playlist that I'm talking about, and so you can go watch some of that content there. But if this helped at all, if this was helpful at all, please subscribe, please join the journey. Please let me know in the comments below, share it with a friend. Maybe you guys can start going to the gym together and be accountability buddies or gym buddies. Cause you know, it always is sometimes nicer to go to the gym with somebody than it is to go by yourself. But you know, either way, if you have any questions about strength training that I didn't cover in this video, or you have any like fears about it, or you know, what have you learned maybe through your strength training journey, please like comment below, tell us, let us know. I'm very curious to hear where everybody's at in terms of strength training. And yeah, I'm happy to kind of start this YouTube journey, start sharing this content, and if this resonated with you, I hope you come along for the journey. And yeah, until next time.